Hello and welcome. Welcome to Be Moved and welcome to this class of slow flow and meditation. It's a practice that I often return to as a way to drop down and into my body. It offers us a lot of movement, but a movement that's slow, so a way that we can connect with our inner world, what's moving inside of us, what sensations are arising. And the practices that I offer are about that. They're not about pushing anything away or being here to feel a certain way, but to get better at feeling and to notice what's here for you. Today we'll be working a lot with the energy of heart. We'll be doing a lot of juicy chest and shoulder and back work. And if you do have a bolster, that would be really great. Also a cushion or a pillow works if you've got one from your bed. Yoga blocks are also a nice option for some of the postures. And please have on hand a blanket because we're going to go for a rest practice at the end, and it's important that you're nice and warm. So if you need to grab your bits, then feel free to pause the video. I'll be here waiting to begin. So when you're ready and you have your space on your mat, feel free to take a position to begin the class that feels the most comfortable for you. So that might be seated on your knees. You might come into a cross-legged position, or you might decide to lie down on your back. So really maybe close your eyes for a moment and just sense, what is my body calling for right now? Do I want to find the back of my body? Do I want to find a seat? And see if you can offer yourself that starting place. And when you get there might be some movement through shoulders, through your head, side to side, maybe shaking out your arms and your legs. Sometimes it can take us a little bit of time to really arrive in the space and ready for our practice. And that's perfectly okay. Take your time. This is a practice about process, not about arriving at a specific destination, but just moment to moment. And you could allow your lips to be slightly open and just release a wild breath. Even a sigh, a sound of arrival. And if it feels comfortable for you, your eyes can soften. And these first few moments, what's here, what's alive in your space? See if you can connect to the silence for a moment. How does it feel to listen to the silence? And just starting to plant those seeds of curiosity. What's moving through me? Where do I feel tired? Where do I feel energized? How does it feel to breathe? How does it feel to notice my breath? And again, really hold yourself these first few minutes. Find a breath that feels natural and organic right now, whether that's breathing through your mouth or in and out of your nose. Allow this space to become a place for you to listen to our first language before we spoke, the language of our bodies. And we'll take one more minute, landing on your mat, wherever you are. And see if you can start to bring a little bit more awareness to every exhale of your breath. Allow each exhale to drop your body down into your mat, to your floor, to the earth. Grounding yourself for your practice. And if it feels comfortable for you, you might start to bring your hands onto your body. Maybe skin touches skin. And at that other layer of connecting, of grounding, of being here in your body. And we'll start to all make our way into a seat. So if you did begin lying down, take your time. Start to roll onto one side of your body and find your way into Sukhasana with your legs crossed. And this might be a moment for you to use a block or a cushion to elevate your hips. And when we arrive all together in this seat, we can start to bring our arms up over our body. And then as you exhale, release your arms very slowly by the sides of your body. Almost like you're tracing the air, the space, as you inhale and open, expand. And then as you exhale, drawing through the air to find ground again. And we'll take that one more time, filling your whole body with this full breath. And then gently release, roll your shoulders back a few times and start to drip your chin down towards your chest, opening through the back of your neck. And as you inhale, start to draw a line with your chin and let it come all the way towards the ceiling. You can open your mouth, rest your tongue, and then very slowly draw that line down to your chin. One more time, chin towards ceiling. And then release back, bowing towards your heart. And take a moment here in this heart bow. Our heart is our master of flow, teaching us this flow state that we're all capable of being in. Start to bring your head back to center. And then with very soft movements of your weight, start to pour your chest from side to side, forward, back. And the movement's very subtle to begin, allowing each breath to find each movement. And you can switch directions. Again, using this imagery of drawing with your body. And as you breathe, and your lungs fill with air, with energy, they are gently massaging your heart. Take these last few circles, maybe switching directions again, these spirals, to drop down and into this relationship between your lungs and your heart, how they hug and hold each other. And then softly, in this movement, can begin to still and start to bring your hands onto your mat. We're going to bring our knees back to find a tabletop position. So our knees come under our hips, our hands come under our shoulders. And I love to spread my fingers here so that I use so much surface area of my hands, don't have any pain in my wrists. And then tuck under my toes to open up the backs of my feet. Oh, that nice fascia gets a little bit of release. And then as you exhale, start to round your spine and bring your sitting bones towards your heels in Balasana. And your fingertips can start to walk forward as you bow down, maybe coming up onto the tips of your fingers. And then as you inhale, release to the palms of your hands. Start to flow forward into a tabletop position. And keep moving your shoulders over your wrists. Start to bend your elbows. And very slowly start to find earth with your forehead. And you can roll from side to side. And then your fingers can come slightly off the mat and we'll find a very wide Bhujangasana or cobra. So keeping your elbows bent, start to lift your chest. And then exhale, roll back down. And again, flowing up Maybe take little twists from shoulder to shoulder. And then softly start to ripple your head back down towards earth. Allow your exhale to be expansive as you take one more big snaky cobra. And then slowly drip down. Hands come back towards your chest and you start to lift your body back to tabletop. And we're going to start to circle our hips, exploring our spine. So we're using these asanas, these postures, to really get into our body. So when we find one of the shapes, we're always invited to move, to explore, to see what wants to be moved. So for you, this might start to look like cats and cows, flexioning of the spine. It might be a little bit more fluid and spiralic from side to side. How does your spine want to move? Maybe it's early in the morning and there's lots of tension here. Or maybe there's a little bit more energy and your spine can start to explore all these directions. Sinking back, coming forward. And then eventually we'll find Balasana. Forehead touches the earth. Take a few breaths. And then start to inhale to come forward, back to tabletop. We're going to lift our left leg. And you're just going to send your left leg back. You can kick your leg up and start to shake and wiggle toes, ankles, knees, all these joints of your left leg. And meanwhile, I'm really keeping active in my arms, pushing the earth away. And start to circle that knee, big, juicy hip circles. And then as you inhale, this left foot can come to the outside of your left hand. We'll find a dragon shape. So keep your back knee down. Keep your hands on the earth. You can start to softly release your head. Give it a good shake. And then as you inhale, start to lift your arms up. Lengthen through your spine and then start to open to the left side of your body. Inhale to return back through center. And then exhale to open to the right side of your body. And really spread out through your fingertips. Come back through center. And we'll start to draw our arms all the way behind our back. Touch fingers, touch palms. Roll our shoulders towards each other and start to lower our chest and our head as our fingers go up towards the ceiling. Ooh. Take 3 more breaths. Breathing into all those niggly little places. And then very slowly release your hands back to the inside of your foot. You can return back to tabletop and we'll find a little flow. So we're going to pour our weight forward again. Shoulders come over your wrists. Start to bend through your elbows. Gently find the floor and find your very wide, generous cobra. Lift your chest. You can give your head a little roll from side to side. And then very slowly find earth. Lift up onto your hands and find tabletop. See what's here. Give the hips a shake, your head a good shake. Hands come back under shoulders, lots of space between your fingers. And start to lift your right leg and send it back. Start to work through toes, ankles, your knee. All the while, arms stay active. And eventually we'll start to find these big, juicy knee circles in and out. And then find our way into dragon. So right foot comes to the outside of your right hand. Your hands stay on the ground. You can release your head for a moment. And then very slowly start to work your arms up. Grow through the trunk of your body. Breathe. And then start to open to your right side. Return. Find the left side. Again, really reaching out through your arms. Come back. And then interlace your hands behind your back. Roll your shoulders together and start to lower your chest. Pull your head down. Hands might start to float up. 3 big breaths. Release hands to the ground. Bring your front leg back, tabletop. And then start to find that little flow rolling through your spine to lower to the earth. Cobra. Exhale, release. And this time you can start to unravel yourself all the way back through tabletop. And this time find Adho Mukha Shavasana, downward dog. And there can be a really generous bend through your knees. Loads of space between fingers. And give your legs a good shake. Keep pushing your hips towards the sky. And then as you inhale, start to walk or step to your hands. And we'll find our way into Uttanasana, or forward fold. And I like to have lots of space here, so I open my feet almost as wide as the mat. And I allow my knees to bend and let my belly thigh my thighs, hands to earth. Release the weight of your head. As you inhale, start to lengthen your spine. Hands come onto your shins and really push through your shins. Lengthen your spine. And then exhale to roll back down to earth, Uttanasana. The next time as you inhale, you'll start to unravel your whole body. Tiny movements till you find your way into Tadasana, or mountain pose. And take your time to arrive here. Shoulders can flow back and forward. Come into this imagery of your lungs hugging and massaging your heart. Every time you breathe. And then soften the shoulders back. Allow your palms to be open. Give a little sinking feeling to your knees for a moment, as though you're bringing more of your weight towards your feet, more of your weight towards earth. Tadasana, mountain. Spread your toes. Imagine that your bare feet are sinking into soft, silky sand. And really lengthen through your spine here. There's so much you can do in this shape. There's so many tiny areas of your body that you can be curious about. We'll take a few moments to just be here in our stillness. Sensing space on your skin. Sensing earth beneath your feet. And the next time you inhale, your arms will float all the way up over your head. You can interlace your hands and find a very gentle lean to the right side of your body, back to the left side of your body, and then back through center, and start to float everything down. Let your body drip like honey to the ground. Hands find earth again. Find that sweet Uttanasana. Heart towards legs. Lengthen your spine, halfway lift. Release, hands to the ground, and start to walk back to that downward dog shape. Again, open your feet a little bit wider. Spread fingers and toes. Give head a good shake. Start to open up your right arm. Let it find the space behind you. And then start to bring that right arm towards your left foot. And it might find the mat, or it might start to find your left ankle. And you can have a little twist looking under, under your armpit. Hello. And then release. Downward dog. Left arm floats up. And then left arm comes to right side of mat or right ankle. And start to look under your armpit towards the ceiling. And then gently release back. Downward dog. Breathe. Left leg starts to lift. 3-legged dog. Inhale, left knee to your chest and hold. Exhale, release your left knee to the outside of your left hand. And this time we're going to keep the back knee lifted as we start to release our arms up. Extend through our spine. Bring the weight towards your back foot. And then start to open to the left side of your body. And you can take a little reverse here, kind of diagonal your arms, and then float them back. Find your way to the right side of your body. And again, diagonal your arms. And just play here with floating back. We'll go to the other side again, almost like you're swimming. Let your arms freely move through the space. And then eventually, arms come high. We'll inhale, start to float our body forward. Exhale, release your hands, frame your front foot. Start to wiggle your foot towards the center of your mat. And then start to lengthen that front leg. And come up onto the tips of your fingers. Bend through that front knee and lengthen. And soften the knee again. Let your hips move a little bit freely. And then start to bow towards your knee. And then walking your hands towards the long edge of your mat. Your toes come in and your heels out. So we're in a wide-legged forward fold. And we can start to walk our hands back between our legs. You're welcome to bend your knees here. And you can give your legs a little shake as you start to release the weight of your head again. And again, this shape is a place for you to explore. Maybe you lengthen one leg and the other. Or maybe you find a moment of stillness. And then eventually walk your hands all the way back. Frame your front foot. Downward dog. Release to your knees. Roll the weight of your body forward. Shoulders over wrists. Find the earth. Cobra. Exhale. And start to find your way back to downward dog. Check in for a moment. Maybe you want to open your feet a little bit wider. Maybe you want to bend your knees. And then eventually right leg will lift. Find that three-legged dog. Draw your knee to your chest. Hold. And then release to the outside of your right your right hand. Start to grow your arms all the way up. Take a moment. Ground your feet. And then we're going to open to our right side. And again, diagonal the arms. And then swim them back. And find your way to the other side. Floating or flying through space. 2 times on both sides. Return hands overhead. Start to pour your weight forward. Release your hands to the ground. Walk your front foot in. And start to lengthen that leg. And you can play here, bending your knee and then lengthening the leg. Breathing deeply into all those places of tension. And then eventually your hands find their way to the ground and you step back to downward dog. And you find your flow, releasing to your knees, lowering your whole body to earth. Cobra. And then as you exhale, sink back all the way into Balasana. Hands can either find your feet or they can stay resting on the mat. And take 5 whole breaths in Balasana. You can soften the weight of your hips from side to side. And then eventually start to release your head back up. You'll bring your hands behind you. And you can start to gently wiggle shoulders side to side. A gentle push of your chest up and out. And then release your hands back towards you. Come into a tabletop. Start to lift back up to downward dog. Walk to your hands. Uttanasana. Forward fold. Allow your toes to come out, heels in, find Malasana, yogi squat. Arms can lift up. And then very gently roll onto your sitting bones, legs lift for a moment. And then start to find the ground. Soles of the feet are planted. And this is where if you have a block or a cushion, it can be really nice to find a supported bridge, placing something under your sacrum, your sacred bone, resting and finding this bridge shape. Arms can come up over your head. And to make it even more restorative, you can allow your knees to gently touch each other, walking your feet slightly out to the side. We'll take a few moments just to be here. Sensing what's flowing in and out of your heart. Energy pumping, blood circulating. Feeding and nourishing all these parts of your body. And then very gently you'll start to release your prop, come up into a bridge shape. Take a breath and then ever so slowly start to drip your weight back to earth. Allow your knees to bend and just start to roll on your spine, finding this boat Navrasana, rolling back and forward until eventually the momentum pulls you into Sukhasana. And we're going to start to prepare ourselves for meditation. So if you do have a blanket, you might like to bring it so that you're nice and warm. If you have a bolster or a cushion, you can place it under your sitting bones for a comfortable seat. And take your time to arrive here. I'm going to find those heart circles again, from side to side, forward and back. Allow my head to move with my heart. Just allowing subtle, soft movements to bring you back into a seat, a place of stillness. And wherever your hands land, let them just fall. Take another wild breath through your mouth. seated in meditation for about 10 minutes. I'm going to guide you into a heart breath meditation. A place for me that is somewhere I go when I feel very full of emotions, full of stories, full of thoughts. And I want to create some space. So this heart breath helps me to come into that spaciousness of my body. So as we keep landing in our seat, maybe your eyes begin to soften. And your breath comfortable and natural, whether it's through your nose or your mouth. And allow even more of your weight to fall into the back of your body, as though you're sinking down to the comfort of earth below you. And allow yourself to be really switched on, listening through your skin, sensing the air touching your skin. Maybe listening to any sounds in your space. For me, the practice of meditation is a practice of becoming more intimate with what's here. So not trying to force or push anything away. And we'll start to allow both our hands to be guided towards our heart space. And I'm going to place one hand on top of the other hand so that this kind of heart hug, heart hold. Sometimes the skin on our chest above our heart can feel very thin and tender. Maybe it takes a few moments to feel that heaviness of your hands. Maybe there's a sense of the drumbeat of your heart. And our heart tends to hold on to things and places and people. But sometimes we need to free up a little bit of space. So that we can love even more. And it doesn't mean that anything is lost or gone. But we acknowledge that our heart is a vessel and it fills and empties and fills and empties. So take a few more breaths, hands on heart, listening, holding. And if it feels comfortable to keep your hands here, then feel free to leave them as they are. You're also welcome to very, very slowly start to release them, still sensing the imprint of your heart hands as your hands fall back down wherever they land. For the next few minutes, all we're going to do is breathe in through the front of our heart. Hold for a moment in our heart space. And then exhale. Release our breath through the back of our heart to the space behind. And it's in your own natural rhythm as you inhale through the front of your heart. Hold and exhale. Maybe you imagine your breath as a color, as a texture, so that you visualize it as it comes in through the front of you, stays for a moment in that madhya or the center, and then exhales back out into the mystery behind, all around. Maybe there's a little sound or hum of your heart as you pay all this attention. You put all this presence into the space in your chest. Maybe you can sense into this vastness of your heart, all these dimensions, the front, the back, the top, the bottom, filling with your energy, your breath, and exhaling to empty, to make space. If you want to stay in your meditation, you're welcome to stay exactly as you are, softening into the here, to the heart. If you feel ready to come into a final rest, start to bow your head, draw your chin towards your chest again. And as we start to let go of our meditation, see if any movement just wants to express. Maybe it's tiny, tiny movements, side to side, circling, spiraling. We'll take this next minute or so to explore anything else your body's asking for. Maybe it means bringing skin to skin again, hugging and holding. Maybe it's finding earth. And eventually, you'll guide yourself into a place of rest. And if you do have a pillow or a bolster, you can place it all the way down your column, your spine, and allow your heart to stay open and rested. Making sure you're warm with your blanket. And there's nothing to do. Just surrender into this sacred rest, this intentional rest, as your bones and muscles soften towards the ground. The softest breath. Allow each part of your body to relax. To melt. resting. And you'll start to invite movement back to your body. Little wiggles of toes and fingers. Shaking of legs. Rippling of your spine from side to side. And in your own time, you can return to a seat. And I'll leave you here for the practice. Feel free to stay in your meditation, your rest. Thank you.